Father Michael, please stand by.
في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا لا تدع لنا في مقامنا هذا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا مريدا إلا شفيته ولا كربة إلا نفسته ولا ضالا إلا هديته ولا حاجة من هوائج الدنيا والآخرة إلى قضيته ويسرته برحمتك يا الرحمن يا رحيم اللهم احفظ بلادنا اللهم احفظ رئيسنا الحاج آدم بارو اللهم احفظنا غامبيا يا حي يا قيوم يا ذا الجلال والإكرام سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بكلمة إمام راتب جرنا علي ماسكا السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
May I call on the Father Michael to do the Christian prayers.
Father Spirit, Amen. God our Father, we bless you, for it has pleased you to man in your image and likeness, thereby endowing us with equality of dignity of both man and woman. We thank you for our nation, we thank you for peace, we thank you for our leadership, especially on this day that we launch the national agenda policy and also inaugurate the National Women's Council. Continue to be our guide, protect us from all harm and evil, continue to inspire our leadership, the leadership of this country, so that they will steer the affairs of our nation and her peoples according to your will. We ask all this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Prayers are very important for solidifying our souls. And I would now like to call on the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare. But before that, I would want to introduce those on the high table. We have women who are coming from rural areas. Of course, this may be the first time they're seeing the UN resident coordinator, and I know the president, everybody knows him. So, and Anta and DA. DA is also very prominent in rural communities. But of course, we have a host of women coming from all the regions, North Bank region, URR, CRR, LRR, and the West Coast region, the powerhouse. Good morning, His Excellency, the President, Dr. Adama Barrow, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, father to all Gambian women and girls, including people with special needs, gender-sensitive men, the protector of the Constitution, the protector of the rule of law, and the protector of democracy. And that, the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, Honorable Fatou Kinteh, the mother of all Gambian women, the Kabil Obama initiator, the champion of women's rights promotion and protection. You are highly welcome. We of course have on the high table the outgoing chairperson of the National Women Council, Mrs. D.A. Sawale, the Iron Lady. Dear, we indeed appreciate your excellent service and commitment you have demonstrated over the past 5 years as chairperson of the National Women's Council. And of course, we may not forget the incoming chairperson, Ramata Gajigo. I don't know where you are, so at least people should know you. Your nomination and appointment by the Honorable Minister and His Excellency the President is clearly demonstrate your commitment to women's empowerment agenda. We are with the conviction that you will serve with dignity towards the achievement of the National Development Plan, particularly on the pillars that are responsible for the empowerment of women. We also recognize the presence of Paul Frederick Carl, United Nations Coordinator to the Gambia, friend of His Excellency the President and friend of Gambian women and girls. We appreciate your policy and program alignment and consolidation and harmonization approach so as to have one UN system in the Gambia. And of course, it's important also, his colleagues are here. The resident representative of UNICEF, Rose, is here. UNICEF is also here present. And Carl, I believe you come with a very, very full of your team is all present. Of course, it's important. On behalf of the Honorable Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, I wish to take this opportunity to welcome His Excellency the President to this auspicious occasion. And of course, we may not also forget our veterans. They're here. Dr. Fatoumata Tambajang Jallow, former Vice President, and you have also the Honorable Cabinet Ministers there present, Education, Agriculture, Digital Economy, Youth and Sports, they are all present. With regards to the diplomatic missions, we have the Ambassador of Morocco, our best friend, he's also present here. The Ambassador of Mauritania, our good friend. And all other ambassadors that are present here. We thank you for gracing this occasion. Very important that you are here today. So having said that, I would now like to call on the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, Ajaratu Rohiatu Ka, to deliver her welcome remarks. Ajaratu, you have the floor.
Auzubillahi minash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Dr. Adama Barrow. The Honorable Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, and all the cabinet ministers here present. Members of the National Assembly. I would also at this point in time recognize the presence of the former Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, Aya Fatoumata Jallow Tambajang. Members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, the CPCU Coordinator, Minister of Finance, ably representing the Africa Development Bank, the UN Resident Coordinator, and all heads of UN agencies present here, colleague permanent secretaries, regional governors, senior government officials, outgoing and incoming chairpersons of the National Women's Council, religious leaders, incoming and outgoing members of the National Women's Council, members of the press, the police band, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols duly and respectfully observed. Assalamu alaikum and good morning to you all. I have the pleasure and singular honor to deliver the welcoming remarks at this auspicious occasion as Permanent Secretary of the host ministry. I wish to commence by expressing the ministry's sincere gratitude and appreciation to His Excellency the President of the Republic, Dr. Adama Barrow, for accepting our invitation to preside over this important event. The launching of the National Gender Policy 2025 to 2034 and the inauguration of the National Women's Council 2024 to 2029 to give it the weight and merit it deserves. This event is taking place at the commencement of the Meet the People store, which demonstrates Your Excellency's unflinching support and dedication to advancing the gender transformative agenda and empowerment of women. Thank you, Your Excellency. I would also like to acknowledge and applaud the presence of our distinguished invited guests, particularly our development partners from the African Development Bank, ably represented here, and all the UN agencies for gracing this occasion. Today's gathering demonstrates a unified commitment by all stakeholders to the implementation of the National Gender Policy, which has been formulated following the expiry of the Gender and Women Empowerment Policy 2010 to 2020. The new policy therefore consolidates the gains made from the previous policy, factoring emerging issues and adequately aligning with the strategic priorities of the Ministry's long-term strategy and investment plan. Whilst the significance and purpose of the National Gender Policy will be well addressed by incoming speakers, it is important to note that the launch will serve as another milestone in the government's effort to live up to its commitment to the already signed treaties and conventions relating to the protection of the rights and welfare of women. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is not therefore a coincidence that the policy, which is central to the empowerment of Gambian women, is being launched together with the inauguration of the 17th National Women's Council. I therefore wish to recognize and appreciate the presence of both incoming and outgoing councillors. On behalf of the Honorable Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare and the entire staff of the Ministry, please allow me to once again welcome you to this milestone event and hope that you find the occasion worth the attendance. Thank you.
I'll call on the outgoing chairperson of the National Women's Council, D.A. Sawane, to deliver your remarks. D.A., you have the floor.
Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Honorable Ministers, Honorable Fatou Kinteh, Minister for Gender, Deputy Speaker, our friend, our latest friend, you know where I'm talking from, National Assembly members, the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, the UN mission headed by Mr. Carl Frederick, Deputy Permanent Secretaries, Managing Director staffs of the Ministry of Gender, National Women's Council, soon to be former and incoming councillors, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol respectfully and duly observed. I greet you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Your Excellency, I am saying welcome to OIC, but I shouldn't say welcome. You should be welcoming us because this is your home. You brought the OIC to us. So, Your Excellency, you should be welcoming us to the center. Your presence here today, sir, demonstrates how highly you value women's issues. Today being the first day of your Meet the People's tour, now you are here. This is your new region before NBR. This is the region of the OIC, the first Meet the People's tour. Where is His Excellency? Thank you so very much. My task today is quite simple, but yet bittersweet. On behalf of my team, we wish to express our heartfelt appreciation and acknowledge the achievements you made with the National Women's Council during our tenure with you. For the very first time in the history of the Gambia, Gambian women have their own platform to go and advocate instead of going to other institutions and other ministries to beg for this, that. You said no. You valued us more. You established with your vision and leadership, you established the Ministry of Women's and Children's Affairs under the able, remarkable, Honorable Fatou Kinteh. I salute you, Fatou Kinteh. Yet still, Your Excellency, you went ahead in the history, in what you have done. The first time ever, a Gambian woman to lead, to be a minister in the agricultural area. You took Honorable Ami Fabure, and made her the Minister of Agriculture. She was one of us. She was then the chairperson of the National Women's Council. Your Excellency, the very first, you established the Enterprise Development Fund, the Women Enterprise Development. These are all the first. So I call him President First. The Enterprise Development Fund to help alleviate and empower Gambian women, alleviate poverty, and empower Gambian women across the country. Sir, during our tenure with you, 2 of our lady councillors, Michelle Mendy and Yama Samatelo, were able to have the opportunity to graduate from MDI in a postgraduate in Gender and Development Studies. 2 other councillors, Kadi Sanyang, Jaina Bajata, and Fatih Jani Jaju, also graduated with a national diploma in Gender and Development Studies. Thank you to you and the Minister of Gender. Thank you, Honorable Fatou Kinteh. We also have come across a lot of challenges during our tenure. The COVID-19 being the main one that set us back 2.5 years. Your Excellency, you achieved a lot nationally and internationally. But the latest achievement, sir, was during the non-repeal of the Women's Amendment Act on FGM. Which is a milestone, while the whole world was watching during this process. You demonstrated your care. You showed the world what democracy means. Your passion and care for the Gambian woman and the girl child was again reassured. The greatness of a nation is not only measured by its size and population, but by the investments that you put in its citizens, in its people and citizens. Thank you so very much, President Adama Barrow. We are so proud of you. Your Excellency, as your agenda is to continue to develop this nation and its citizens, we, the former Lady Council, will work hand in hand with the incoming ones for the achievement of our developmental goals. My last, not least, request, sir, because if I step down here, I'm no longer the chair. So I'm refusing. I'm going to stand here and ask for what I want, Your Excellency. Please. Your Excellency, the lady councillors, in terms of command, if you go to the district, it is the SAFO, the Alcalo, and the lady council. Even if a dog dies or a mouse got sick, I'll tell lady councillor. Go to the lady councillor. The lady councillors don't have no kind of remuneration. Our council sittings put together in the year is not even $13,000, Your Excellency, considering the work that we do. So, sir, I'm asking, part of the powers that I have now is to please consider doing something for the lady councillors, sir. And I know you would do it. I know you would do it. Sir, that brings me to say a little brief thing about the lady councillors, their roles. You see, in the first government, Sada Dakairaba Jawara and his government knew the importance of women in development, in political agendas. They established the National Women's Council. And when they did establish the National Women's Council, they found out that 3/4 of the women were not literate. Therefore, they created the Women's Bureau. The Women's Bureau became the secretariat of the National Women's Council. The first person that was on it was Fatou Sanyang Sise. May her soul rest in perfect peace. And then come, my dear mom, Fatoumata Diallo Tambajang was the chairperson of the National Women's Council, and Safiatou Singate was then the executive director. I stand to be corrected because it's a long time ago. So the council was set to be an advisory body to government. And everything that had to deal with women issues were challenged through the council to get to the government. But yet still, I will reiterate, when you came, you did more and said, look, this institution needs to be on its own, and you forever, you'll be remembered in the history of this country for what you have done. Thank you so very much. We are so proud of you. Sir, now the last request, again, as the chairperson, it was two, don't listen. Sir, I'm pleading with you, with your entire government, to continue to continue to protect the Women's Amendments Act, and please, proper execution and implementation of the law. Sir, this is very important. As we step down today, I would like to thank my wonderful team for a job well done. Allah barka bake. We have become a very big family. I am also welcoming the incoming chairperson and her team, Madam Ramata. My dear sister, welcome aboard. Madam Fatou Kinteh, thank you very much, you and your team. If there was any other word other than thank you, I would have said it. Kajali Sonko and the team, thank you so very much. And Honorable Fatou Kinteh, thank you for this grand style exit. I thank you very much. Your Excellency, I know you are very, very busy because you took time from your very tight schedule and came to attend this. That shows how women's issues are high and priority on your agenda. And as you have said, that this country, your agenda is to make sure that we move ahead. We will work with you, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
I didn't see you, but now we know you are here, a friend of the ministry. When it was tough, you were with us. So thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. I would now like to call on Ndai Anta Tal, who is representing the African Development Bank. The African Development Bank, as the PS has said, funded the entire process of this policy formulation consultations. We did a very, very, very wide range of consultations with UN system, the civil society, both national and international organizations. The copy of the policy went up to the bank. It is a bottom-up approach that we used to make sure that a document does not come from technicians and being imposed to women. So the consultations was like every region we spent 2 days to look at each thematic area. There are 11 thematic areas in the policy. So it's very important that we acknowledge the support of the bank. And Anta, you have the floor.
In all development partner projects, UNDP, World Bank, and AFDB, and we supported the financing of this important document. So I read this on behalf of the African Development Bank, and it reads, Your Excellency, Mr. Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, Children and Social Welfare, and all honorable ministers here present, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, former Vice President, I acknowledge your presence, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocols duly and respectfully observed. Good morning. It is a great honor and privilege to join you today for this historic occasion for the official launch of the Gambia's first ever gender policy. This milestone reflects the nation's steadfast commitment to advancing gender equality, empowering women and girls, and ensuring that no one is left behind. On behalf of the African Development Bank, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to the government of the Gambia and all the stakeholders that have contributed to the formulation of this important policy document. The adoption of the gender policy is both timely and transformative. It aligns closely with the African Development Bank's 10-year strategy 2023-2032, which places gender equality and inclusive growth at its core. Our strategy underscores that sustainable development is not only possible, but when the potential of all women, men, girls, boys and girls are fully harnessed. This policy will undoubtedly act as a catalyst for the Gambia to reduce the gender gaps that persist across various sectors, particularly education, health, and economic empowerment. The African Development Bank is guided by five priorities, which seeks to 1, light up Africa for Power Africa, feed Africa, industrialize Africa, integrate Africa, and improve the quality of life for the people of Africa. Gender equality is intrinsic to each of these goals. For example, empowering women in agriculture through equitable access of resources and training is critical for the feeding of Gambian and Africa at large. Similarly, promoting women-led businesses and entrepreneurship drives industrialization and economic growth. We are thrilled to see how this new policy resonates with these priorities. Aiming to uplift the women of Gambia and men alike, the African Development Bank, through the Ministry of Finance Central Project Coordinating Unit, is proud to support the Gambia in its journey towards gender equality through a range of initiatives. Our ongoing projects in the Gambia have already demonstrated transformative power of targeted gender interventions. For example, we have worked to enhance women's access to finance, build capacity of female entrepreneurs, and promote the participation of women and girls in the STEM fields. But this is only the beginning. The launch of this policy is a call to action for all of us to redouble our efforts. The African Development Bank remains committed to standing alongside the Gambia to ensure the successful implementation of this important gender policy. Together, we would work towards a future where every Gambian woman and girl has equal opportunities to thrive and contribute to the nation's development. I am confident that the strong political will demonstrated today will translate into tangible progress for the people of the Gambia. Let us all commit to fostering partnerships, mobilizing resources, and driving innovation solutions to accelerate gender equality in this beautiful nation. Congratulations once again to the government of the Gambia and all partners, His Excellency the President, and all partners involved in this groundbreaking achievement. May this policy mark the beginning of the new chapter of inclusivity, equity, and prosperity for all Gambians. I thank you very much.
Giving us this assurance that the bank is here to help us implement a product. And of course, I know the World Bank is also with us. UNFPA, UNDP are all interested. So we will see how best we can come up with a basket fund in terms of mobilizing resources for the implementation of this policy, which is very important. We don't just only formulate policies and just keep them, but we need to track, look at the indicators, make a record of, stock taking in terms of implementation and achieving the indicators. Thank you very much. I would now like to call on the friend to the president. We know we will not have this without bringing in the resident coordinator. Of course, his role in terms of harmonizing and coordinating implementation of development program in this country, we know that. Paul Frederick, you have the floor.
Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, Excellencies, member of the Diplomatic Corps, dear colleagues of the United Nations, particularly the country directors of UNFPA, UNICEF, and the resident representative of UNDP, esteemed development partners, outgoing members of the National Women's Council, incoming executive members of the National Women's Council, religious and traditional leaders, civil society organization and community-based organization here present, dear friends of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to address you in this great occasion of the launch of the Gambia's first ever national gender policy that covers 2025 to the year 2034. This milestone represents not just only a policy document, but a transformative vision for gender equality and women's empowerment in the Gambia, built upon extensive nationwide consultation and analysis. Your Excellency, Mr. President, allow me to congratulate you and your government, particularly the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, for your leadership in bringing this comprehensive policy to fruition. The process that led to this policy, including nationwide consultation across regions and municipalities, stakeholder engagement, and analysis of past achievement and challenges, demonstrate your government's serious commitment to evidence-based policy making. It is a pleasure to see and to read that the approach taken to learn from the previous policy implemented over the past decade. The careful evaluation of the 2010 to 2030 policy, including its midterm review in 2017, has enabled to build upon successes while addressing gaps and challenges. The extensive consultation with stakeholders across government, civil society, and development partners have ensured that this policy truly reflects the need and aspiration of all Gambians, but particularly of women and girls. The timing of this policy could not be more crucial. As we pursue the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, we recognize that gender equality is not only and just a fundamental human right, but a necessary foundation for a peaceful, prosperous, and sustainable country and world. The recent national census has highlighted that a significant portion of women in the Gambia's population, underscoring the urgency for ensuring their full participation in national development. When we read the policy, it is indeed in alignment with the sixth transition at the United Nations: food system, education, digital technology, social protection, climate change, and biodiversity. I am also pleased to say that the United Nations will continue, in collaboration with all development partners, to mobilize resources and technical support for the implementation of the policy and reach of its indicators. Our collective commitment is to ensure that the detailed implementation plan, with its clear indicator and timeframes, translate into tangible improvement in the lives of the Gambian women and girls. Your Excellency, Mr. President, honorable ministers, distinguished guests, this national gender policy represents more than aspirational goals. It is a practical roadmap for achieving gender equality in the Gambia, grounded in consultation and careful planning. Its success will contribute not only to the national development, but also to the achievement of our shared global commitment under the Sustainable Development Goals, as well as the Green and Recovery-focused National Development Plan. I believe that by 2030, inshallah, that the Gambia will be amongst the best performers in the continent and in the region. Today, we do more than launch a policy, we ignite transformation. Let us here commit to turning this carefully crafted word into reality. For every girl and woman dreaming of education, for every woman seeking economic empowerment, and for every Gambian aspiring to a more equitable future, the time for action is now. Let's work to make the Gambia an example of gender equality in Africa and in the world, and prove that when women rise, the nation really thrives. Thank you.
Now, I'd like to call on the Honorable Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare to deliver her remarks.
Excellency, the President of the Republic of Gambia, Dr. Adama Barrow, the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, my colleague cabinet ministers here present, thank you for coming to this occasion. Former Vice President of the Gambia, National Assembly members, the wife of the Vice President here present, the wife of the Minister of Fisheries here present, the UN coordinator and other UN staff. I can see our friends, the Lusar, UNFP representative, Madam Mandisa, UNDP, Nafisa, UNICEF. The national coordinator of the PCU of the Ministry of Finance, who is also representing the African Development Bank in this occasion. The Vice Chairperson, African Commission, and Special Rapporteur on the rights of women in Africa. Thank you for gracing the occasion. The representative of the World Bank here present. The permanent secretaries and deputy permanent secretaries present here. Senior government officials, members of the different commission, thank you very much for gracing the occasion. The incoming and outgoing women councillors, religious leaders and members of the CSOs, the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. It is with great pleasure and gratitude that I join you to launch our country's new gender policy 2024-5-2034. At the inauguration of the 17th National Women's Council, this significant occasion represents a pivotal moment in the minister's commitment to advancing gender equality and women's empowerment, and creating a more inclusive and equitable society for all in the Gambia. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, the gender policy we are launching today is grounded on several key objectives that are aligned with the Gambia's recovery-focused National Development Plan 2023-2027 and international commitments made by the government of the Gambia to protect the welfare of women and girls. This policy underscores an unwavering commitment and dedication to promoting gender equality, combating gender-based violence, enhancing women's economic empowerment, promoting women's leadership and participation in decision-making positions, improving access to quality education and healthcare, and addressing gender in the context of climate change. Chairperson, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, one of the core strategic priorities of this policy is the promotion of gender equality and the empowerment of women. The ministry is dedicated to eliminating all forms of discrimination against women and girls and creating an enabling environment where they can thrive, contribute, and lead without barriers. This requires a concerted effort to change discriminatory laws and policies, promote gender-sensitive programming, and build a culture of respect for women's rights across all levels of society. Furthermore, the policy prioritizes the prevention of gender-based violence and creates a swift response to victims of gender-based violence. It also includes strategies to strengthen legal frameworks, enhance protection mechanisms, and provide comprehensive support services to survivors of gender-based violence. In achieving our goal, my ministry is committed to working closely with communities to address harmful practices and change social norms that perpetuate violence against women and girls across all sectors. Economic empowerment is crucial for achieving gender equality in any given society. Therefore, the policy outlines measures to improve women's access to resources, markets, and financial services in the country. It aims to promote decent work, entrepreneurship, and income-generating activities for women, particularly in rural areas. We are dedicated to enhancing skill development, providing access to credit, and creating enabling environments for women-owned businesses to thrive. The Chairperson, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen. In addition, the policy recognizes the importance of women's participation in decision-making at all levels. We will focus on increasing women's participation and representation in political, economic, and social decision-making bodies. This includes supporting women's leadership in public office, local governance, civil society, and in the private sector. At this juncture, I want to seize the opportunity to extend my profound gratitude and appreciation to His Excellency, President Adama Barrow, for the establishment of the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare for the first time in the history of the Gambia, which will forever remain part of his legacy. Your Excellency, your government's commitment to ensuring that all girls and women have access to quality education and healthcare services, as well as access to financial services, just to name a few, is a sine qua non to improving the socio-economic status of women and, by extension, improving the well-being of all Gambians. Your Excellency, Gambian women will continue to applaud your dedication, passion, and commitment to the principles of gender equity and equality, which have been instrumental in shaping a comprehensive policy, council, and ministry that responds to the needs and aspirations of women, girls, boys, men, the elderly, and persons with disability in the Gambia. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, the launch of the National Gender Policy Framework is a historic milestone, and it reflects a high-level commitment of His Excellency's vision towards advancing the women's development agenda. This policy framework reflects the government's vision of a powerful and peaceful, prosperous Gambia in which men, women, boys and girls have equal rights and opportunities to develop and thrive. While it aims to eliminate gender disparities in education, reduce maternal mortality, improve reproductive health services, and promote gender-sensitive healthcare. Recognizing the impact of climate change on women and girls, the policy incorporates a gender-sensitive, gender-responsive approach to climate action. It will enhance women's resilience to climate-related risks and promote their active participation in climate governance and decision-making. The Chairperson, Your Excellency the President, ladies and gentlemen, to achieve the objectives set out in this policy, a collaborative effort and multi-sectoral approach is essential. This policy is not the responsibility of the Ministry of Gender alone. It requires the active involvement of all stakeholders, including ministries, civil society organizations, community leaders, the private sector, UN and other development partners, and most importantly, the communities themselves for whom it is developed. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, we must foster partnerships at all levels to create an enabling environment for the effective implementation of this policy. This is only achievable by integrating gender perspectives into all national policies, programs, and ensuring that adequate resources are allocated and building the capacities of key actors to deliver on gender equality commitments. Furthermore, the Ministry will continue to engage traditional and religious leaders to champion gender equality and women's rights in their respective communities. We will also work closely with the media to promote positive portrayals of women and girls and highlight their contributions to national development. Today, as we launch the National Gender Policy 2025-2034, while at the same time inaugurating the 17th National Women's Council, we must acknowledge, appreciate, and celebrate the role of women in the development process at all levels, while reiterating that achieving women's equal rights is a global commitment, as gender equality is at the very heart of human rights. We are taking a significant step towards ensuring that women's voices are heard in decision-making processes at the local level through their respective lady councillors, who will be readily available to address the needs of women in their communities and contributing to the effective implementation of this gender policy. The Chairperson, Your Excellency the President, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to sincerely thank the outgoing lady councillors for their hard work, commitment, and dedication to the cause of women and girls. With you, we have come a very long way and we have achieved a lot together. We do appreciate you and we always remember and will continue to work with you. To the incoming members of the Women's Council, we welcome all of you and look forward to a very strong partnership to make sure that where the old ones left, you pick up from there and we move on. In conclusion, I urge all of you to stand united in our commitment to advancing gender equality and the empowering of women. Let us work hand in glove to build a society where every individual, regardless of your gender, has equal opportunities to thrive and contribute to our nation's development. I also wish to take this opportunity to thank very much our partners, the African Development Bank, the Ministry of Finance for financing this entire process of the development of this policy, our UN and other development partners for the technical support during the development of this gender policy and into this launching. The regional governors, chiefs, alcalos, and the women themselves for facilitating the selection of the members of the National Women's Council, which we are also inaugurating today. To AfriCell for printing the banners and the educational materials, and the Gambia Revenue Authority for printing the booklet. I thank all of you for your kind attention.
Today I'm in solidarity with the women. By looking at my dress, I am all over white, even my shoes are white. So I am here as he for C. Okay. Excellency, former Vice President, Fatmata Jallo Tambajang, Honorable Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Cabinet Ministers, Honorable Members of the National Assembly, Regional Governors, Senior Government Officials, Members of the Diplomatic Corps and the UN system, incoming and outgoing members of the National Women Council, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media. Women's empowerment is globally recognized as a cornerstone of a nation's progress and prosperity. This makes my government very much alive to the fact that gender equality is key to delivering all the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. We hence embrace gender equality as a critical enabler and accelerator for Agenda 2030. Committedly, the government maintains that women and girls must enjoy their rights to education, health services, justice, security, and economic resources. This includes access to markets and the right to property. We are determined, therefore, to protect their rights through legal and policy instruments that provide a blueprint for women's empowerment and development. With this in mind, it gives me great honor to be here to officially launch the Gambia National 10-year Gender Policy 2025-2034 and to inaugurate the 2024-2029 National Women Council. Ladies and gentlemen, today's event is a clear evidence of my government's commitment to promoting gender equality, women's rights, and social justice for all citizens. It brings to light the call for us to work hard towards building a nation and a future in which every woman and girl can succeed, free from discrimination and inequality and violence. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the new National Gender Policy Framework is an important milestone for the Gambia, as it provides a critical roadmap for transformative action to realize women's rights within the broader framework of the country's constitution and progressive value systems. The policy contains the government's vision and it clearly defined intent to provide women with the relevant rights and opportunities to prosper as equal partners and citizens before the law. I am confident that the effective implementation of the policy will contribute immensely to inclusive social and economic development. That is, development that cuts across all divides and allows women to play important and empowering roles without barriers. Ladies and gentlemen, we recognize women as drivers of sustainable economic growth. For this reason, we have succeeded to a large extent in closing the gender gap at the primary and secondary education levels. And we are determined to attain similar success at our tertiary education level. The launch of this policy and the inauguration of the National Women Council are not empty symbolic activities. Rather, the occasion marks a giant step towards achieving gender equality and women empowerment in the Gambia. The event has come at a time when the global community is reinforcing its commitment to the SDGs, particularly Goal 5, which seek to achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls by 2030. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in the Gambia, women and girls play a pivotal role in the socio-economic development of the nation. We appreciate them as the backbone of our communities, contributing significantly to various sectors. Unfortunately, they face numerous challenges that hinder their full participation in certain aspects in life. These challenges include gender-based violence, limited access to education due to social and cultural factors, inadequate healthcare and economic opportunities, unfair social norms, and underrepresentation in decision-making positions. The National Gender Policy 2025-2034 is our roadmap to address such challenges comprehensively. It builds on the progress of the previous policy frameworks while setting new priorities and strategies for the next decade to ensure that no one is left behind. The policy aims to provide a strategic framework for the systematic integration of gender equality issues into all sectors of national development. Furthermore, it is formulated to promote a culture of respect for women's rights and to ensure that women and men enjoy equal opportunities in every aspect of life. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the journey towards gender equality is a collective one, and it starts with the commitment of every Gambian, especially those of us present here. Certainly, the incoming council has a huge role to play in the journey. Fortunately, the policy adequately provides us to move forward together with a common vision and a shared purpose. Allow me to express sincere gratitude and appreciation to the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, Honorable Fatou Kinteh, the ministry staff, and all stakeholders who contributed to the development of the policy. I also extend my heartfelt gratitude to our development partners, particularly the African Development Bank. We thank you for your support, for their technical and financial assistance to this initiative. I am confident that with everyone on board, we can make this vision a reality. Let us continue to work tirelessly to make sure that every woman and girl in the Gambia lives a life free from discrimination, violence, and inequality. Let us create a future where they can work, succeed, lead with dignity and respect. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I now have the honor to officially inaugurate, respectively, the 2025-2034 National Gender Policy and the 17th National Women Council 2024-2029.